Hello everyone, welcome to Dominions 5. My name's Mew. I'm going to be playing another multiplayer game. This time I'm playing as middle-aged man. Like my previous game, this game is going to be running the JBBM balance mod, and it's also going to be played on a map that was generated using cartographic revision. The links to both of those things should be in the description below. I just finished the game as Ashdod. Ashdod, pretty straightforward. Kind of just take a large bless and then bless your sacred giants and walk forwards. And that's pretty much the extent of the skill and decision making that goes into playing Ashdod. So I went in a slightly different direction with Man. Man's more of a build-up nation, I think. Certainly I don't think we'll be doing any really early game rushes as Man, unless we have a really weak neighbour. So since Man is loosely based on sort of old British and I guess Celtic mythology and stuff like that, I thought I'd keep the pretender name in that sort of region. And here we have Prime Minister Jeremy Corbyn, which is a state of affairs I'm trying to will into the world. Corbyn's going to be imprisoned, which is kind of funny to say, but yeah, I'm not going to have him in the beginning, so I'm going to be relying on my troops to expand, which in my test games went okay. Sometimes I had a bit of trouble expanding. I think mostly what I found helps is if I prioritize taking the provinces around my capital first. So if I just prioritize, because usually I want to like expand as far away from my cap as quickly as possible to like stake out territory. But in my test games, and when I say test games, by the way, I just mean that I practice like the first year in single player, just so that I know how to expand. But in test games, what I found helped sometimes is that if I prioritize taking my cap circle to make sure that I have like resources in my cap and stuff to get as many troops out as possible, and then just continually reinforce that starting army, that seemed to be the way I kind of leverage the best possible start. Anything other than that, if I try to just go really far afield with the starting army, I tend to just like... Well, I guess it depends partly on like how lucky you are with the strength or weakness of the provinces around you. But either way, I don't think expansion on this nation is going to be quite as easy as Ashdod. There's certainly an argument to be made that an awake pretender would be better. But I really wanted to do scales. I haven't done like a nation with heavy scales for... Well, I don't think I have ever done that in Dominions 5. I think I only played like, what, one game of Dominions 5 though, so... yeah, this time around we got Order 3, Prod 3, Growth 3 and Luck 3. So we're going to really want to push out our Dominion to make sure we've got these scales everywhere. Fortunately, Man, of course, has 200 gold temples, so we are going to be pushing out temples anyway. Drain 2 is just to pay for stuff. It's not too bad. Man has pretty good mages that they can recruit from all of their forts, so catching up on research shouldn't be too difficult. They also have access to air magic, which means you can forge alcohols. So I think a few points in Drain is probably not a huge problem on Man. Yeah, and then Dominion 7, because that's just what I can get. And then that gives you like the Bless. I think Fire Blesses are pretty good on Man, just for inspirational presence. Because Man has so many like monks everywhere, because they have like those stealthy 25 gold priests called monks, that if they've got this bless, they can all lead like loads of troops. And then all of their mages also are sacred, so they also all have this. So it lets you have like tons and tons of leaders everywhere that can just lead everything. So on a chassis that already has these magic paths, pretty good. And then after that, kind of just took whatever bless I wanted really. The bless wasn't much of a priority really, so I just thought, well, what would be cool? And I've never really done like a caster bless, which is kind of what I was thinking this might be. 4 points of precision and 2 points of reinvigoration. A spellcaster would like that bless, right? That'd be pretty nice. Especially if we're laying down sort of thunderstrikes and things later on. Lots and lots of casters all with additional precision and reinvigoration. Seems pretty good. I don't know. Depends how far we actually make it through the game. Other than that, I didn't really put too much. I don't think there's really much else I really thought about. Early game I'm going to be trying to expand mostly with landless knights and longbows, and then if possible I might transition into knights of man and longbows. So the landless knights are the little infantry troops, and then the knights of man are the mounted troops. I think probably early game goals will just be to get as many forts, temples and labs up everywhere as I can. Start pumping out pretty big armies of troops, and then as soon as I can buff them effectively, start invading people, I guess. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. If you never watched my videos before, I'll point out that I'm not exactly a great player. But well, there is no but. I suck. But you know, one thing I do try to do is I try to make sure that these videos aren't tutorials. They're just gameplay. So I tend to keep things quite narrowly focused on just what I'm doing and why, and that's it. So I try to keep the videos quite tight in terms of how much time is spent on each turn. So there's that. You know, that's nice. So. Alright, I'm just going to end this here. So thanks for watching. I'll start uploading the turn videos probably next week. And I'll see you then.